And welcome back to White Claw Wednesday. This is episode number 113. I'm drinking some iced tea peach. Ryan's got some iced tea mango.
The mango.
We're back in person. Oh. And we're cracking some claws.
Right here. I haven't done one of these in a while. Oh, yeah.
Nice.
Here we go. Cheers,
All right,
brother.
cheers. Dink.
Nice bracelet, man. Where'd you get that?
Oh, this is just a little thing for my girlfriend, Gracie, that I use to tie my hair. Because I have really long hair. Yeah. One day I asked her, I was like, "Hey, do you have a hair tie?"
It's not a scrunchie, is it?
No, it's not a scrunchie. It's actually a really cool hair tie. It's plastic, and
Are they beads or is it a spiral?
It's a spiral. Feel it. It's a spiral.
Oh, wow.
And what's really cool about it is when
Can you really stretch it out?
Oh yeah, when you go to tie your hair, you stretch it out like crazy, and you leave it in for like however many hours your hair's tied. And once you take it out, it's always in like a crazy mangled shape. So like you see how it fits nicely on my wrist.
Yeah.
Well, when you take it out of your hair, it's all wild and going every which way,
back.
and then it just slowly just forms back on your wrist.
That's
cool.
It's
a cool design. And yeah, I've had it on my wrist since because
surprised they can do that with plastic. I
was thinking the same thing.
That's incredible.
It's funny when I first took it off, I was like, "Oh, I ruined it." One time use, and then it went back.
Single use hair tie.
Single use hair tie, kind of like, it's got the same reusability that.
Are you really gonna segue right now? Is that the segue you're gonna use?
It's got the same.
That was tragic.
It's got the same reusability as Batman's bat symbol that he can remove from his chest. That's also his chest piece, but it's also a batarang.
It is pretty cool.
That was a cool movie. And I was like the one in the theater, like when he cuts the tape on the door to open the door, and he walks through the door, and then he puts the bat back in his chest. I was like, oh.
I know.
That's the noise I made. I kind of had the same reaction
to that.
Dude,
I literally made the exact same noise. I was like...
Yeah, it was so sweet.
So badass.
Kind of like how Scott made a similar noise to when Zoe Kravitz's Catwoman first came out.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, he was barking the entire time. I love just that one scene right there, and we'll get into the
we're gonna do spoilers right now, by the way, for everybody who hasn't seen the Batman.
Spoilers. It's just this one scene where he uses the batarang.
Actually, there's two.
There's two scenes.
Remember when he cuts the wire to fall into the water?
That's true. You're right.
With the sign, the electric sign.
Did he take it off his chest?
Yeah, he takes it off.
I didn't notice that. I didn't notice that.
It's so sweet.
Well, what was crazy is how impactful that one scene.
Yeah.
That first scene.
Yeah, that one where he's cutting the door. Yeah.
And they show it. He just kind of clips it right back in. Oh man.
It was really like I was waiting to see what that chess piece did, because when they first released the full look of Batman online, everyone was talking about how his chess piece is like made of the pieces of the gun that killed his parents, and people were saying all this random stuff. Like, making up with coming up with theories. I know.
Where did they get that?
But it was cool to see like the final product was that it was a removable batarang.
So, where do you want to start, man? I mean, what should we do? Should we talk about our opinions first, or should we go like...
Yeah, let's first start at like what we thought. Let's start at the end.
Okay.
But put the end at the beginning. So what's your rating out of 10?
Oh, honestly... Yeah. I'm giving it a 9.5. Okay. Truthfully.
Gotcha.
I really, really liked the movie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, I was going to go 9.2 out of 10.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Hey. So we're both pretty much on the same page.
Okay, so what was the 0.8 gap for you?
0.8 gap for me is the action scenes not being I wanted more action.
Ah, okay.
That, and then also the narration. Wasn't a huge fan of the narration.
Good point.
And also third part of the 0.8 is the fact that they used the lyric version of the that slow Nirvana song that, like, I'm pretty sure it was a Nirvana song with I think it's Underneath the Bridge or something, or that's one of the lyrics, but like there's like the strumming, like the deep, like dun, dun. It was like used in the first trailer. Like they used it in the movie, and I thought they weren't going to use the version in the movie with lyrics like they did in the trailer.
I'm sorry, say that again.
So like the first trailer that came out had this song on it that had lyrics It was all like, it was like a slow, like dark song.
So
like,
they just used the music, not the lyrics of it.
well, that's what I'm saying. In the movie, they use the lyrics too.
Oh.
So that was like kind of like, I was like, oh. Do you remember when he's walking like right after?
Why would that disappoint you?
Well, just because I don't know. I don't know. I just
You want
wasn't-
all new stuff?
No, it's not that I want all new stuff. It's just that
Oh.
there's something about Batman, the actual movie, when you're watching a Batman movie. There's something about hearing lyrics. Of
I
like
see
hearing
what you're
lyrics of a
saying.
song
Yeah,
that
yeah.
kind of take like, I don't know, take me out of the world in a weird way. Like I kind of want Batman to be all serious and like
I get
and
you.
brooding.
I get you.
So the fact that I'm like hearing like lyrics, because lyrics are always super like the thing with lyrics and the thing about songs, the great thing about songs is they're very expressive and emotional. And Batman, when he's in Batman mode, he says a few. He doesn't say a lot.
Yes.
And he doesn't really show his emotions. So having lyrics of a song playing in the background while he's like doing detective work just wasn't really like then that was what was sad about it, is that I love the instrumental that went along with the lyrics they used.
Dude,
It was so good. Like, do you remember when he first beats up, like when he first makes his appearance and the guy says, "Who the hell are you supposed to be?" And he beats up all those dudes.
Yeah.
And then he goes to the first murder scene of the Riddler.
Yes.
And then there's that POV shot where he's walking through the hallway of cops, and like you're seeing, and all the cop, like it's like feels like you're Batman because all the cops are like staring at you and stuff. And that was the moment when they were playing that song that I'm talking about. Then and I was like, oh, they're using the song from the trailer. I was like, nice. And immediately I was thinking, okay, just leave out the lyrics. And then the lyrics came, and I was like, oh, damn it.
Dude,
It was just something about, I don't know.
I had absolutely...
What was your missing 0.5?
Oh, okay. Well, first, let me just say that you have such great attention to detail, especially when it comes to like production stuff like that.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe it's just because you're, in the industry and you studied it, but I didn't even notice at all.
Oh, okay.
Like if you asked me name a song or were there any lyrics at all, I would have no idea.
Yeah, because that's the thing about music, is it's supposed to be in a movie. You're supposed to not really think of it being there. You're supposed to just watch the movie and then you're like, hey, you notice that like the music's supposed to just be something that like tricks your brain into like having an emotion that
connection.
A scene is trying to get you
absolutely
to have.
Okay, 0.5 for me. There were a couple points, I can't remember them distinctly, and I remember saying this before about the trailer too. I felt like his voice was very inconsistent. That being said,
that was one of my favorite parts.
You like that?
And it was because I thought it was inconsistent to the point where, dependent on the situation that he was speaking in, the voice would change, depending on how he he had different moments of intensity. So where he's just talking to Catwoman, and it's kind of
more personal.
It's sort of like a low whisper, like almost sexual in a way. As weird as it is to
say. Dude, I love how they went straight into the romance.
Oh yeah, not like nothing held back.
I mean, it was a long movie, but I honestly didn't think that it would escalate that quickly.
They kissed sooner than I thought they would.
It was my funny. Thing too. I expected the lock eyes and the deep connection, but
they kissed when I didn't think they were gonna kiss, and then they didn't kiss when I thought they were gonna kiss.
Which was the first little lock eye moment, right?
No, at the very end of the movie when he's saying bye to her, and she's like, "I'm getting out of here," and he's like, I'm gonna stay and keep fighting for the city and stuff." And
they don't kiss though.
They don't kiss there, right? But there's because she initiated the first kiss.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the movie, when she says I'm leaving, and they're both looking at each other, he leans in just so slightly, and then he stops and he just doesn't, and then he lets her go. And that was the moment where I thought the kiss was gonna come, but the kiss came more in the middle of the movie, which I thought was a cool change.
And it was a weird dual sexual tension scene where they're fighting. They're kind of arguing and trying to getting to know one another and their characters, and they get really, really close, and then I think Catwoman she backs away.
Yeah.
And then I don't know, they have this emotional connection where he says something to her and then boom, they kiss right then. So, okay, back to the 0.5. I would say that.
So the voice you didn't like
the voice, but honestly that wasn't
big of a thing.
That big of a thing. The only other critique that I would have is I mean, it's more funny than anything, but anytime there was like a Riddler clue or something like that.
Oh, I know what you're about to say. Yeah.
Anytime it's like,
I have an explanation for this.
What happens when blah, 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 blah. And it's like, I'm thinking about it and I'm
like,
literally.
The answer is justice.
Yeah, exactly. Right away, he knows. Yeah. He knows. Yeah. I guess apart from the end where he doesn't
the final riddle
realize the murder weapon, the original murder weapon is a carpet scraper or whatever.
To dig up the
right. So I don't know. To me, it was just like, come on, like by like the third or fourth time, I was like, this is getting old, like no way he knows all of them.
Okay,
like that.
So my explanation for you on that,
sure,
is that Batman, according to the comics, has a genius level IQ.
Well, I mean, yeah, sure, for sure.
And if you think about like the kinds of riddles that the Riddler does, they are the kinds of riddles that I buy a genius getting. Like, what does a dead liar do? He lies still. Like that to me is so like once you know it, the answer, it's like, oh, that's super simple. So to me, a genius would be able to get his riddles that quick. And honestly, if you've seen like the Riddler stories and like the Arkham video games, and every time he's facing off against the Riddler in the comics, he almost never stumbles on any of the riddles. Like there's the Jim Carrey Riddler movie in the 90s, Batman Forever with Val Kilmer. Same vibe as Robert Pattinson in that as soon as there's a Riddler, Val Kilmer's Batman just says the answer right away. Except for the riddle in the finale of the movie. So it's kind of that's kind of how it is with the Riddler.
So much as a riddle, it was
it's like the Riddler is so in control. Like he's known to be smarter than Batman. So he kind of does a thing where he creates a trail of clues and riddles that he knows Batman can solve easily and get to a certain point, and then at a certain point, like the finale of his plan, he always makes the last riddle the hardest.
Okay, so
which is kind of the carpet scraper. Like that was the hard riddle. Everything else was he was supposed to find out, like to make everything happen the way he wanted it to.
So let me ask you this: did you know? Because honestly, I don't. I haven't read any of the comics. I have played the video games when I was like at your place or something. Did you know that the Riddler thought that him and Batman were kind of like working together at this?
Oh, like has that ever been a storyline? Like the Riddler?
Just did you expect that from this movie? Because when he finally gets arrested. Okay, so you did.
Yeah, because that's often that's usually a similar like a theme that's used in Batman. Is that the villain thinks that they're a lot like Batman.
But in this case, it's a little different in that he was thinking that Batman was helping him achieve his goals, right? Because he had all these riddles and he's like, bring him into the light.
Yeah,
do this. And then at the end, he's like, I'm revealing my final plan to you. I mean, there's no way he would have done that unless he trusted Batman to be on his side, that type of thing,
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying? So, like, in my eyes, the Riddler really thought that they were.
So you think the Riddler actually thought that the Batman was on his side?
I think that the Riddler thought that him and Batman had the same goal. And yeah, I do.
Okay, you do. Okay.
I do. Because, I mean, that's at least how I perceived the Riddler talking and I mean, that last conversation with him. And then when the Riddler realizes that the Batman's not with him, he kind of freaks out and he's like, what?
He does have that,
he does that thing that he does, but...
Yeah. No, actually, now that you're saying that, you're explaining it to me, I think actually you might be right. Because I was about to say that the Riddler's just smarter than Batman and knows that he can trick Batman into helping him out.
Well, that's what I was saying when I was saying, did you expect that, right? Because... I don't know. I feel like it was a different portrayal of the Riddler, at least from my perception, even though I don't really have a reference point for another Riddler. Like, I just was not expecting that. So I thought that was a little cool twist at the end if it wasn't already done in the comics or something. Well, let's talk about what you liked, man. I'm just going to say it.
Yeah.
I think this is my favorite Batman movie.
Yeah.
I think so. And I'm saying it with a temporary... timeline until I rewatch The Dark Knight.
Yeah.
You know.
Also, I just want to I need to rewatch this movie more.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Because I think I've seen The Dark Knight enough. I mean, I would probably rewatch it again, like just to probably make my final decision.
Yeah.
But it'd definitely be the Batman that I need to watch more in order to make my determination.
Let me tell you,
I do think that it's better than Dark Knight Rises for sure. It's better than both the Val Kilmer and George Clooney Batman. It's better than the Ben Affleck. Anything Ben Affleck's done as Batman. It's better than Michael Keaton Batman movies. And I also think it's better than Batman Begins. That's just off first watch. So yeah, I definitely have to do multiple watches to figure out if it's better than The Dark Knight.
Well, let me tell you why I think so. I had been saying this for a while too, and I know you agree with me, but I love the dark, monotone coloring, if that's the right monotone.
Yeah, like a lot of grays.
A lot of grays,
yeah, like
light black.
Super bleak.
Just, it's dark and it's serious.
Rainy and it's,
There's not these, jokey one-liners like there is in pretty much all Marvel movies now.
Exactly,
it's like such a nice change of pace. And they nailed it.
Yeah.
Even though there were a few jokes I've
always liked Batman jokes because
Batman.
Batman jokes, they never feel forced.
Mm-hmm.
They just feel like that's the situation.
Mm-hmm.
Like, for example, Gordon being like, okay, like, punch me and take the keys and get out of here.
Yeah.
And then he sees him later.
He's like, you could have pulled that. He's like, I did.
Yeah, exactly. Like stuff like that. Like that's funny, but it's also like what happened.
True.
Like if Batman wanted to actually like knock him unconscious and put him in the hospital, he probably could have thrown the hardest punch ever.
He's not saying it in a jokey way.
Yeah, he's
like,
not.
Hey, bro, like I did. I did. He's like, you can totally picture the Falcon, Winter Soldier, and them joking around and saying that, like, and being jokey.
Yeah. But he's straight up like, I did pull. I did do that.
I did.
Yeah, that part was
so that's one of the reasons why it's one of my favorites.
Mm.
And honestly, the most crucial point for me is that Bruce Wayne is not a sleek looking, just businessman, entrepreneur, just like your A-list type of guy.
Yeah.
He is hurting and he's tired, and you can tell that he's fatigued by doing this nighttime. You know, he's, quote unquote nocturnal is one of the narrations.
One of the narration
says
things.
that.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I really, really enjoyed this Batman because of that reason. It was just constantly dark. There's not this like comic book super person that, Bruce Wayne is. It's like, I'm Batman and like this is my purpose. Yeah. And nothing else really matters, and everything else is gonna, I don't know, be susceptible to.
Yeah. This. So that was another thing that I thought of was in terms of like his version of Bruce Wayne is that I was torn on the narration because it made sense to me that this version of Bruce Wayne would be writing like diaries and and logging what he's doing and his experience, and
especially with the detective type,
more of the detective side, and making it like as realistic and grounded as it's ever been. It would make sense to me that he would keep notes and just to keep all his thoughts organized, because he's seeing so much and he's dealing with so much. Like he's just taking in, being nocturnal, he's taking in so much every night, and like those camera eye lenses he had, that was so sick. So I was like, okay, it makes sense that he has this journal, but the narration, I don't know. It just there's something to me about when a movie uses narration. Yeah. I've always thought that it's cheating a little bit,
like bad storytelling, that type of thing.
I don't even want to say bad storytelling, because sometimes it's awesome and it feels just correct, and it's like, yeah, this fits. But other times it just feels like, okay, we're just gonna like kind of hold the audience. Like, I didn't need to be told that he was being nocturnal and like becoming the night, and like the city was eating itself and stuff. Like, I know this by seeing like the criminals with the face paint, doing random crimes against just normal people minding their own business, and him driving out at night and like peeping, looking through, like with his eyeshadow on and his hood late at night. Like
So,
I got all the vibe that he was narrating about through what I was watching, and then he was just basically spoon feeding me
the words into your mind.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I don't need this, Like just give me a few shots of him like writing in his journal in the Batcave post doing something out at like just something like, and then like, okay, we have the journal established. Like I just didn't need, it almost felt like, okay, I don't know which came first. Did the journal idea come first, or did okay, we need narration, so let's give him a journal come first?
Would you have been more upset if another character was narrating per se?
That would have made it. That would have put it in the seven.
You think so? Like if
because that would have killed it.
Who's the police officer? That's his
Jim Gordon.
Jim Gordon.
If Jim Gordon was narrating,
no,
there's
the city never sleeps. Gotham.
Yeah, there's no
nocturnal Batman comes.
I've never been a big fan.
I don't know who he is. That type of thing.
Yeah, like I'm like I said, like I'm not a narration guy, and when it comes to narration in something like a Batman movie, you're gonna lose just a little points from me when Batman's narrating, but you're going to lose a lot of points if it's another character.
Do you know if this is the first Batman movie that's done narration? I feel like Batman's been done so many times that you don't even need narration.
Dude,
know?
I
it's
actually,
like now that
I think about it, if we're talking just solo Batman movies where it's just Batman, like we're excluding what Ben Affleck did.
Okay, yeah.
Because I'm 90, actually I am 100% sure. The Zack Snyder Batmans, like the Zack Snyder Ben Affleck Batman, does have narration.
Does have narration.
Okay.
Okay.
But I'm pretty sure Keaton, Kilmer, Clooney, Bale, no narration.
No narration.
No narration. And that's why it like stuck out to me.
Mm-hmm.
Because with someone like Zack Snyder, he's I don't know. There's certain directors.
Who directed this one?
This was Matt Reeves,
Matt Reeves,
the director of War for the Planet of the Apes and Dawn of the Planet of the Apes.
Really?
Yeah, there was that. I don't know if you remember that Planet of the Apes trilogy.
Yeah, he does. Yeah.
It started with Rise, the one with James Franco.
Yeah.
And he didn't direct that one, but he directed the sequel and then the third one, which wrapped the trilogy. But the second and third one were the best out of the three.
See, so I wish I saw them then.
Yeah, he made the best two out of the three, and I don't remember narration, but then again, there might have been narration. I don't know. See, that's the thing. Like, you really only like specifically remember narration if it like kind of sticks out like a sore thumb.
Are you talking about Rise of the Planet of the Apes or not?
No, I'm talking about Dawn of the Planet of the Apes and War for the Planet of the Apes.
Oh,
like his most two recent direct.
Well, they didn't have narration, but they had the sign language.
They had the sign
stuff,
language,
so,
yeah. No, but I'm not counting that because that's literally a language.
Right. That's
so.
True.
Yeah, so I really think the narration thing, it just kind of caught me off guard because it comes in immediately. It's like right in the beginning of the movie. And the movie's bookended by narration. If I can recall correctly, there's the only time there's narration in the Batman, it's when the beginning, when he's talking about being nocturnal.
I was going to ask.
And then the end of the movie when he's talking about how he's got to stay and protect the city as Selena goes off. So I will say that also helped it go down easier, is having it be a book, having it be a bookend like instead of just random all over the place,
explaining the story as it goes.
Exactly, like that would have been even worse. So in reality, like really, like when it comes to Batman and narration, they got the best case scenario.
So would you have preferred, like let's just say the ending, right? Would you have preferred a more detailed conversation with Catwoman?
Oh no.
Just leave it as is.
Yeah.
Nothing else added. Just no narration.
No, you didn't need narration there. It was so clear what was happening.
No,
she was leaving Gotham City, and he was staying there to fight for the city. Like that's so like it was. I was like, yeah, obviously that's duh.
So, man, I'm trying to figure this out. So they're doing.
What?
I was telling Scott this actually too.
Yeah.
And I was literally saying what I just said about how I really, really liked the Bruce Wayne portrayal.
Yes.
But then I was like, the problem is you can never do a Justice League with this Batman. You can never do a Justice League with this Batman.
Oh, Matt Reeves has already said he doesn't plan to introduce any other DC superheroes because he's planning a trilogy just like Christopher Nolan did.
Cool.
So he's pretty much doing the same thing Christopher Nolan did in that, yeah, I'm just going to do 3 Batman movies that are connected, and we're not doing any other heroes besides Batman.
But I'm just saying that not feasible. I mean,
but
Batman's supposed to be the
that's
leader,
why it's so much like the Dark Knight series.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it's also really hard to imagine that Batman. It's hard to imagine Christian Bale's Batman being in the Justice League, which is what's so crazy to think about the rumor.
I could see that though. You
can see that more
because it goes back to the Bruce Wayne thing, man. Bruce Wayne is this put together, rich entrepreneur.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
He can
You're saying because the Christian Bale Batman is more like the standard Batman in both halves, Bruce Wayne and Batman, that allows him like if you had to swallow either Pattinson's Batman or Bale's Batman in the Justice League, like with Henry Cavill and Jason Momoa, which one's easier to swallow? I do agree with you. I think
Christian
it's Bale
for sure.
Just because of, like you say, the whole Bruce Wayne. He's
supposed to be the leader.
He's still got that leader vibe.
Yeah. Isn't he the leader? Well, Superman, but
no, Batman's the leader.
Batman's
like
yeah.
It's kind of like it's similar to like I would say, I mean, I don't know if other comic book nerds would agree with me on this, but you take Captain America and Iron Man, you take Superman and Batman. To me, I think Captain America and Batman are kind of like
similar.
Are the two leaders.
Yeah, 100%.
And then Iron Man and Superman are kind of the OG strongest. Not that Iron Man is the strongest of the Avengers, but in terms of like the two main dogs in the group, I feel like it's Captain America and Iron Man, and then Batman, Superman.
For sure.
And that's the way I would sort of, line them up.
Oh man, I wonder how. I don't want to bridge off into a tangent here.
Yeah, no, you go ahead and let's do it. Tangent up.
I was just gonna say, I wonder how they're gonna do it now with. I'm forgetting the Anthony Mackey as Captain America.
Yeah, Anthony Mackey as Captain America.
I wonder if he's gonna be like the guy.
No, he is the guy.
Well, he's the guy.
He's the new Captain America. But are you saying, like, is he going to get the super soldier serum? Is that what you're saying? Because he hasn't gotten that. And
no.
Winter Soldier, he said he wasn't going to do it.
I just mean, like, is he the guy in terms of the Avengers now? Like, is he going to be the go-to?
Oh, is he now the leader? Yeah.
I mean, I would expect them to usher him into that role, but I'm just wondering how they're going to do that,
I bet it's him and Captain Marvel.
Oh, really?
I bet they're like the two leaders.
That makes sense, yeah.
And there again, you have the same dynamic as Batman and Superman, where Captain America is Batman and Captain Marvel is Superman.
Yeah. All right, let's go back to Batman though. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I do totally agree with you. It's too grounded of a Batman, and the Bruce Wayne is too different, and he's not the same Batman in that he's really just like a dude who wants to like fight crime and
right.
And do his father justice by what he thinks his father was. Like there's just he's the Batman who cares the least about being Bruce Wayne. And I really felt that in like the one scene where he goes to the funeral and he like tackles the boy out of the way of the car and stuff.
Yeah,
I really felt like they really portrayed him as being someone who never comes out in public.
Yeah,
if he's not at night,
Bruce Wayne.
Exactly, freaking out. I love that cop, by the way, who's like at first like. When Batman first shows up to the crime scene, the cop's like, what the hell are you letting this freak in here for, Gordon? And then he sees Bruce Wayne at the funeral. He's like, hey, Bruce, how you doing? He's so excited.
It is. I thought that character arc, even though it was a side character, was great because funny. Then at the very, very end when Batman just kind of walks by him, or no, somehow he gets back to the Riddler's apartment and he comes out and he's like, what are you doing in here? He's like, all right, just make it quick. Or he says something like that. Or be careful, I think. Don't tamper with anything. Yeah, that was funny.
So the suit was really, I mean, beyond the whole battering chest piece, the suit was so cool.
Super sick. Yeah, super sick.
That cowl and the way it almost, it really felt like if you were to take like a military expert and tell him to like make a Batman costume.
You think so?
That's what it felt like. It was kind of military-esque, and like he had like the pouch pocket, and he had kind of like a cargo pant look with metal plates on the legs.
Yep.
And he had these steel toe boots and the chest like
the chess piece.
The chess piece was so cool. Like it was. Man, and that scene when he's like walking down that dark hallway, and you're they're shooting at him,
rifles,
and you're seeing all the fight moves because of the light from the gunfire.
Yeah.
And he's just taking it in the chest. It's,
I'm so glad you brought that scene up. That was so cool.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh, it's just.
Man, that's got to be my favorite scene in the movie, I think.
Yeah. The best action sequence.
Now that you mentioned. Oh, yeah. 100%.
So cool, dude.
100%.
And that's even with the action sequence at the end where he gets the shotgun to the chest and then has to adrenaline shot himself.
Yeah. That was cool, but I don't know.
Didn't like that as much as the...
I don't know if I liked the... I mean, I'm just being critical here. I thought it was cool when I was watching it, but, I get the whole adrenaline shot thing. Mm-hmm. That was pretty dope. And I love how he was actually injured. Like, he was not doing well.
Yeah, legit.
You know?
It's like the first time we've seen Batman be touchable.
Right.
In terms of, like, he takes hits, too.
Takes a shotgun to the chest.
Yeah.
And
then he needs
is literally about to die.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then Catwoman saves him.
I love that part where he's just like...
Makes him seem human, you know?
Yeah, and I love how, like, the Riddler guy's... he's loading up the double barrel shotgun, and then he's putting the barrel right against the chin, right where the one exposed part is.
Yeah.
That was sick.
I like that, and even throughout the movie, like he had a bunch of scrapes and stuff.
Oh yeah, he was taking hits.
The
very first fight by the subway station, you immediately see him getting hit. You hearing that alarm?
Was that in here?
I think it's from.
Okay.
There,
Yeah, you see him getting hit. Absolutely.
I thought that was really cool, that opening fight scene, because I felt like that was the most I've ever felt almost in the villain's shoes. In that they really made it feel like that scene was like the villains were almost the protagonists standing there, being, messing around like at the train station after doing horrible stuff. And then the way they shot it with like the Batman coming out of the shadows really made it feel like he was like a horror, monster, scaring the heck out of it. It was so cool.
Yeah. Oh, dude, those scenes where you just hear the boots just...
Yes, dude, the boot.
What a nice touch.
Those boots
and
were
really,
so sweet.
Really consistent throughout the movie, too.
Yeah.
I think there was 3 scenes like that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, actually, there was a lot of them, because I think the first scene... where you were talking about the music where he's walking through the group of
the crime scene and the
crime
cops,
scene.
Yeah,
I think you can hear his boots.
You can hear his boots. Yeah, you hear him clunking. Yeah.
But there was the opening scene. Well, not the opening scene, but the scene where they show Batman for the first time, and you just see him come out of this dark hallway. Super cool. And then the other scene that I remember is after he crashes Penguin's car, after that long chase, which we can talk about.
That chase scene was awesome.
We'll talk about that. And he's walking over, which, oh man, you got the background of the fire.
Didn't you laugh at the part when he like looks in the car?
This is the part where I laugh, because I was like so excited. I was like, God, this is so hard. Like, you just see the fire burning.
And he's got the upside down view of him walking towards him.
You see I think it's at the beginning, you see the full, his full body, and then it's slowly like going lower and lower, but you just hear the boots just.
Yeah.
And then at the end, the boots disappear, and you got Batman going. Sorry, everyone. But
yeah, basically Batman just plays peekaboo, and he sticks his head in the car and just looks at Penguin.
Down. He looks super stiff too.
Yeah,
it's just like,
that suit is heavy, dude. He's
I know, man. I don't know. That was just a little too much for me. I don't know.
Yeah, and you couldn't hold yourself.
And I started laughing.
Started laughing like, yeah, that part was. All the Penguin action was really cool to me. Like when he first goes to the ice lounge. Oh, and by the way, the Iceberg Lounge. That's the same lounge that Penguin hangs out in Arkham City, the video game.
Oh, cool.
So that was very cool.
Nice touch.
Easter egg. And I love how he just knocks on the door as Batman. And then he's like, I'm here to see Penguin. He just like comes in fighting. And that line where Penguin's like, "Oh, take it easy, sweetheart." That was, man, what a good character introduction.
And Penguin was really cool too.
I love the facial scarring and the. Yeah. Apparently, Colin Farrell, the actor, he wanted cigars because
that was Colin Farrell.
You didn't know that was Colin Farrell, bro?
Dude, I had no idea. All I know is Robert Pattinson was Batman.
Dude, that movie's cast was ridiculous. Okay, do you remember Transformers? The guy who gets peed on in the first one and then is under the testicles of the robot on the pyramid in the second one. He's kind of a loudmouth secret agent guy who, you know, you don't remember the guy getting peed on in the first Transformers?
I remember it, but I can't picture the actor.
Okay, well, that was Carmine Falcone, like Catwoman's dad.
Oh, okay, yeah.
John Turturro, super famous actor.
Oh, yes. Now it's hitting me. Yeah.
Very famous.
Yeah, he's a big name. Yeah, absolutely.
Jeffrey Wright, the guy playing James Gordon, he's also very famous. I don't know if you've ever seen Westworld.
No.
But he plays one of the main characters on Westworld.
Cool.
Also, the main CIA American spy in the Daniel Craig James Bond series. And then you have, you know, Zoe Kravitz, obviously.
Yeah, huge name.
Divergent, Hunger Games, you know, daughter of Lenny and Lisa Bonet.
She's in Divergent?
Yeah, she's in the Divergent series.
And she's in Hunger Games.
And she's in Hunger Games. Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, wait, no. Her dad's in Hunger Games.
Yeah.
Maybe she's in Hunger Games,
I don't
too.
think she's in Hunger Games, dude.
I think she is. Okay, either way.
Maybe she is.
I think I might be getting my young adults crossed. You know, my young adult movies crossed. And then, Colin Farrell's the Penguin.
Do you have a shirt pocket?
Paul Dano is the... No, I don't have a shirt pocket. No. Were you getting optical illusion there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your lanyard's under your shirt, and you tucked your hand.
It created like a weird looking
behind. No, but you tucked your hand behind your lanyard, and it literally looked like a shirt pocket.
Yeah.
Do it again for the camera. I want to see.
Is that what I did?
No, it was way under there. No, both.
Oh, both.
That right there. Turn for the camera, dude. That looks like a shirt pocket. Tell me that doesn't.
Okay, I don't know if I can see it as well on the camera.
That's true. Anyways.
Yeah. But yeah, Paul Dano, Little Miss Sunshine, you know, There Will Be Blood. He's a great actor.
Solid.
Fun fact: the Riddler was going to be played by Jonah Hill, but he was he wanted $10 million, and they were only and Robert Pattinson got paid $5 million apparently.
Wow.
And I'm pretty sure he was the top earning actor in the movie.
Yeah.
Which goes to show you it's pretty cool that like. The movie was, I think it was $185 to $200 million budget, and if Batman's getting paid $5 million, then that means they had a lot to spend on production, and that's why it looks.
Only
that's
getting
why it
paid
looks so
$5
good.
million.
That's what I heard.
I feel like that's not a lot.
That's why they didn't. That's why they didn't give Jonah Hill the role, and they went with Paul Dano because they're like, we're not gonna do what they did in '89 with Jack Nicholson as the Joker and Michael Keaton as the Batman, because there you had Jack Nicholson getting paid more and getting top billing. And so I think Jonah Hill kind of probably heard about that Hollywood story and sort of got that same big head, like I'm bigger than Robert Pattinson. I can be the Jack Nicholson to his Michael Keaton. I should be, you know, the 10 mil guy. And it makes sense that they don't pay him $10 million for that role, because really the Riddler villain in this movie was so much less glamorous than other villain roles in Batman movies.
Yeah, 100%.
And that he wasn't in it a lot.
Yeah.
It was a very traditional serial killer murder mystery story, in that you didn't see the killer until the end of the movie.
Yeah.
Which was
the
cool.
Identity, right?
The identity of the killer. Yeah, you didn't see the identity.
It was all kind of videos and stuff.
Yeah, and then he was always wearing that mask and stuff.
Yeah.
And I liked how they made it kind of social media based with like the live feed and the commenters.
Relates to nowadays.
Yeah, relates to nowadays. Yeah. I had one woman groan to me to the left of me. She let out a groan when there was a line from Zoe Kravitz Catwoman about, you know, old white men running the city as always. And it was just funny because she just let out this groan.
People can't accept it.
No, it didn't feel like that groan to me. It felt like the groan of like, yes, I know that. Like, God, stop telling me that. Like, like I already know this. I know
really?
This,
That's funny.
Yeah, it wasn't an uneducated person. It was a person like, okay, yes, you know, please stop beating me over the head with this message. That's kind of what the vibe she had.
It did kind of come out of the, I don't know, left field a little bit.
Yeah.
Whoa. Like, all right, we're doing that right now.
We're doing okay. I thought we were.
That's
okay.
true.
Yeah. No, it's always fun to see those movies and with big crowds, you know, because you get the different reactions. Like I was able to tell Scott to relay the message to you and Amanda not to stay for the credits.
Right.
Because I'm staying for the credits with Gracie, and this guy walks by us and he's like, it's not worth it.
Really?
And I was like, and he looked like a nerd. Like he was full blown nerd. Like he had the balding head with the long curly hair at the end. And
oh wow!
Like full World of Warcraft nerd.
Nice.
So I was like, I should have trusted him.
Yeah.
And in a way, I did. But with something like the Batman, I just wanted to see for myself. I wanted to see for myself.
I get you.
And then I wait till the end of credits, and this is what happens. You know how the Riddler had like that question mark cursor when they like got into his computer program?
Yes.
So that question mark cursor pops up, and then it just types out goodbye. And then the Warner Brothers logo pops up, and that's it.
Not very cool.
So I was like, damn, yeah, that dude was right. Fuck. So yeah, I just felt like I should spread that word because that ain't worth it.
Yeah.
And also, last little thing here. Hopefully the Blu-ray has the 4-hour cut because apparently there was a 4-hour cut. There was a 4-hour cut shown to test audiences, and the rumor is the test audience were like, "Oh yeah, this 4-hour cut rocks, great movie." But Warner Brothers was still like, "We can't theatrically release a 4-hour movie, so you have to make it. You have to cut it out
Dude,
an hour."
I'm so excited for that. If
the rumor is that that laughter that you hear in the cell of that character talking to Riddler at the end of the movie.
What's the Joker?
It's the Joker. Yeah. Obviously, the Joker. You look up on the internet, that character, that actor, Barry something, he's listed as playing Officer something. I can't remember the officer's name.
Whoa.
But he's listed as playing like an actual character. So my guess is the hour that was cut was his entire storyline about being a cop working in the GCPD.
Yeah.
Probably like having some like fall in love with Batman moment and then having it all go sour and then doing something awful and getting thrown in prison by Batman, and that's what. So I'm hoping that the Blu-ray has that 4-hour cut because that's like a whole storyline. That's like if you cut an hour from a movie, that's usually an entire story of a movie. Just
like how do you do that? Yeah, and tell the same story. So it has to be like a side story. Yeah.
But didn't you feel like that scene with him talking to the Riddler felt like there's something like missing here? Like this feels so shoehorned in that it feels like it had another 50 minutes attached to it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it's like, why?
I could see it both ways, to be honest.
Because it's the Joker.
It's the Joker.
It's the Joker.
It's just
and
everyone knows.
Yeah.
And, you have a friend in me or whatever the friggin' riddle was.
Yeah.
I could see it either way, but it seems very plausible. Like, very plausible. Yeah. And honestly, I hope they don't do that storyline again. The
Joker for the second movie?
Oh, my God, I love Batman, and then...
Oh, kind of like with Batman Electro, Spider-Man?
Yeah. I feel like it's such a common one.
It is annoying when
they're neglected or
they're neglected by the hero.
It's just like, oh, freaking
that's the serious. Same. That's the Syndrome villain story in The Incredibles.
Syndrome. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Good shout, man.
Yeah. Hey, man. That's probably my favorite version of that story.
Oh, me too.
Is the Syndrome?
I'd have to say so.
I like that one a lot, and I think it works. I think it works well in animated more than live action.
Yeah. It definitely hits harder when you're a kid too, and you're watching that, and you're like, oh my God, Syndrome.
Yeah, Syndrome.
Poor Syndrome.
That probably would have been me.
And then, exactly. Yeah. And then he goes crazy, and you're like, oh, Syndrome sucks. Yeah.
But dude, Syndrome.
Don't react that way if it happens to you.
His look is pretty badass. Like with that fire hair, that pull.
Oh yeah.
And he's got the big old S.
Yeah.
And those wrist things that make him like have telekinetic. Yeah, he's a cool telekinetic abilities. He's a cool villain.
He is a cool villain. What's cool about him too is he creates his own stuff too.
Exactly. Yeah, he's like an evil Iron Man.
Right.
Well, Ryan, you got any other last thoughts on the Batman? You want to wrap her up?
Oh, we can wrap it up, dude. We could keep going, but
yeah, we could talk forever. I mean, here's the thing: we're gonna get 2 more of these movies, so there's gonna be episodes
maybe a 4-hour
in the future
cut,
about dude. Next thing we talk about is that 4-hour cut. I'm telling you.
When do they usually come out? The Blu-ray.
Blu-rays usually nowadays. Blu-rays 2 to 3 months after. Sometimes sooner, but usually the digital version drops first. You can buy it digitally, and then the Blu-ray comes out like a few weeks later.
Gotcha.
So we'll probably have to wait like 2 to 3 months. Yeah.
Right on.
All right, dude. 113 coming to a close.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, everybody.
Like, comment, subscribe.
You know the deal.
Peace. Love y'all. Ugh, God.